Okay, so you guys know the masonry heater is done. Patrick from Temp did an amazing job, and him and his boys came up here, spent longer than expected, but got the job done. So in this video, this is going to be the last video I show you guys on the masonry heater until we start using it this winter. Once the cold comes out, once it gets cold and I fire it up, we're going to be cooking it and all that stuff. We'll show you the first burn and everything like that. And so yeah, this will be the last video I'll show you guys for a while, but it's going to be complete time lapse, and Patrick is going to be talking over the time lapse some and explaining the history of masonry heaters and his company Tempcast. So if you guys are interested in this, go to www.tempcast.com and get all the information there, and you guys can contact him, call him, email him. He'll answer any of your questions for you. So hope you guys enjoy this time lapse, and I hope you guys enjoyed the whole series of this build, because this thing is awesome. All right, enjoy. Thanks for stopping by today's video. We have an awesome time lapse for you guys. Gabby's coming over here. I'm gonna let Patrick tell you guys all about masonry heaters. They've been around for over 300 years, you're telling me?
Yeah, 300 plus years.
Different countries and stuff like that. So
yep.
I'm gonna let him talk, and then we're gonna show you the time lapse. So Patrick, take over. Whatever you want to say about masonry heaters, your company, and all that.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's good to kind of point out that masonry heaters have been around for a long time. They're not well known in America, and it's kind of a shame. There is a quote, you can look it up, from Mark Twain when he visited Europe, and he experienced masonry heaters for the first time, and he just came back to America. He wrote a little article on it. You can find it on the internet, and I don't have it in front of me, but he has some funny things to say about it. He talks about how just a few logs and the whole room is comfortable for the whole day, how it's not hot or cold, it's just so consistent heat. And he compares it to the wood stove and asks, he's like, will America adopt this heating method? And he says, no, America will not. You know? And he says, what do you get for all of your troubles with the wood stoves? They're either too hot or too cold. And he says, you know, it's like it takes more care than an infant. And when you get your wood bill, you feel like you've been feeding a volcano.
Yeah, it's true.
And so it's just a funny quote. A lot of us heater masons like that quote because it came from someone that went from America over to Europe and just came back and just couldn't believe how wonderful they were.
And then no one around here has them.
And then nobody has them still. Still, you know, and there's not very many heater masons. You know, I'm a member of the Masonry Heater Association of North America, and I'm a certified heater mason with them. And there's only, I don't know exactly how many, but I was number 58. I'm not sure how many have been certified since then. Maybe, I bet not more than 5 or 10. Yeah, wow. And a good majority of those people are retired. So to find an actual certified heater mason, not all heater masons are a part of the Masonry Heater Association, but a bulk of them are. And so, you know, we were talking earlier just about the do-it-yourself nature of it, and I think that it's good to remember, like, to bring this core to people as a do-it-yourself kit, that was never a thing either. These things used to be built out of just bricks, and there was no way you would consider that
a do-it-yourself
project. A good friend of mine who recently passed away, a great heater mason, he was fond of saying that heater masonry is the PhD of masonry.
Oh, wow.
And it's very true in that sense. Like, to bring you a core that is actually doable is phenomenal in the history of heater masonry.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Because they used to just be built out of bricks, and it took a long time, and you needed to be a heater mason to do it. So as far as
like what's some of the what's the pros, like how the history of this, you said, has been around for, you know, as far as you know.
Yeah, so a lot of different traditions. Like, this is after the tradition, like the Tempcast is after the tradition of the Finnish contraflow. The Russians had their bells, double bell or single bell heaters. Swedish, they had their Kakelofens. The Germans came up with their own Grundofen. Just a different way that the food channels basically work, or chambers, to capture the heat.
All work basically the same.
They all have the same principle.
Yes.
They're just trying to capture the heat and then release it into the house rather than to release it into the atmosphere.
Okay.
Yep. You know, super efficient. As we said earlier on one of the videos, the EPA does not regulate masonry heaters. They're recognized as very efficient heating appliances. And we had talked briefly just about, like, even if a wood stove and a masonry heater had the same efficiency, you know, they had, like, say 1 gram per hour.
Yeah.
A masonry heater is burning 5 hours. A wood burning stove is burning 24 hours through the same amount of heat. So in that sense, they're still 5 times as efficient.
Yeah.
5 times less particulate for the same amount of heat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so when you multiply that over, let's say, 1 million heating appliances in America and, you know, 6 months of heating a year, the impact on the environment would be incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
If people did masonry heating as opposed to,
you know, the
stoves.
government at one time, and it still might be, we're talking about regulating wood stoves and for the what you're talking about, the environment
Yep.
in certain regions.
Yeah.
This is like I say, this is the answer to that.
It is.
They don't need to regulate it. Just get a masonry heater.
Yes, exactly, and get a good masonry heater.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be regulated that way. They are. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. It's not to bash anybody though. Wood burning stoves are still the option for a lot of people. It's not not bashing that, but just trying to point out the differences and why you might consider a masonry heater. Masonry heater, the surface of the stone is always going to be safe to touch. It doesn't really get above 160, maybe 180 degrees. So, which sounds hot, like if that was water that would burn you, but it's stone, and so it doesn't communicate the heat that quickly. So you can touch it and you'll take your hand away, but you can lean up against it with your t-shirt on and it's just wonderful.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's great for working a knot out of your back or just leaning up against and warming up after you come in out of the cold. So, you know, as far as safety goes, it's great. You know, your pets and stuff are safer that way too. There's not something that can melt the skin off your hands.
Well, it's like you talked about too. A lot of people have the fear with wood stoves, and Brandy did. We burnt wood in a buck stove for years.
Yeah.
Is having that fire throughout the night.
Right.
And while you're gone.
That's right. Yeah, if you want to use it to heat your home, you have to be willing to walk out of your home and have a fire burning. And I think that you get used to that, but at the same time, if you think about it, having never done that, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
Or burning through the night is a little bit, you know, I think there's a reason to be a little concerned there. Not that they're not safe, but just that, that's not the reality with a masonry heater.
Yep.
You know, you're going to have a fire at 7:30, it's out at 9 o'clock at night. You go to bed, it's just as warm when you wake up in the morning and start another fire.
That's one thing too. Whenever we had the buck stove, and we loved it, but I'd have to make sure there was coals in the morning. I had to get up. Sometimes when it's really cold outside, I'd have to stoke it in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning, to make sure when I woke up there was coals. So when I went to work, I can get it going for Brandy and the girls, so they wouldn't have to worry about it. Now. You know, kind of takes care of that problem.
Yep. So it's just, you know, you got to start 2 fires a day.
Yeah, ain't nothing.
It's not so bad. And then it's carefree. You don't have to adjust the throat. You don't have to choke it down because the design is to burn hot and fast. You want it to do that. You for somebody that thinks, well, can I burn all day long? No, you can't. You do have to burn it and let it burn out, and then you have to walk away for 8 hours before you can light another fire. So
I like that.
So that's just the way it goes. And I ask people, well, how long do you want to sit in front of the fire for? Most people don't want to sit in front of a fire for more than 5 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
When you think about it, it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great. So if you're going to have friends over and you're like, well, what about, you know, and we're going to have a lunch party or something like that, well, that's fine. You could just save your morning fire or something like that, you know,
that makes sense.
And light it up then. So there's always a way to work it. So they're just a great option. I mean, they're fun and very efficient, and you can cook with them, you can heat your house with them. I don't know, to me that's just like, it's everything that I wanted in a fireplace. You know, it's like the best of every facet. You just have to be willing to burn only dry wood. And you have to know that you have to start a fire twice a day, or once or twice a day, and that's it. I mean, then they're maintenance free for the most part. Once a year, you're going to pull off those covers, and you're going to just vacuum out the fly ash. And as long as you did 20% or moisture content wood or less, you're not going to have creosote build up. But it's always good to have a chimney sweep just stick their head in your chimney and see what they say.
So, love it. You need to think about in the future, you guys can have a competition of everyone who's got one of these. Send in their food. You have a picture of their food, and you guys pick a winner. Which one looks the best? The cooked out of the masonry heater.
That's right.
So if they are interested in a temp cast masonry heater, what do they need to do?
I'll go to our website at tempcast.com. Our YouTube station is Tempcast Masonry Heaters, and you can check us out there. We've got some videos up of some builds now. Our website has all the information that you need to contact us. It's also got our pricing. It's got a lot of pictures. We have our contact information, and then also you can download our planning guide and our installation manual. Very helpful thing. So you can just, and our installation manual goes step by step, every block, step by step throughout the whole way of how to build it. And when you see it, you'll see it. It's a very simple thing to do.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming down, spending some time with us, and installing this.
Yes.
So if you guys are just coming across this video for the first time, go to our playlist. I think I got a masonry heater playlist. You can see step by step from day one up until the final day of the whole build process. It's going to help you guys out there if you're trying to do this yourself. Literally, we got video of Patrick doing step by step. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Thank you very much.